Morning, everybody. It is 10 o'clock, Wednesday, the 29th. Last day of November. Oh, nope, today's the 30th. Okay, guys. Tomorrow starts the official Christmas season. And I'm going to talk to you about control and power. Power is defined quite simply as a force or ability that causes a desired response. Electricity, power, runs through a cable or wire and lights up a light bulb. That is power in its most literal form. In olden days, let's go way, way back. Let's say the Mayans. What was power? An ebony blade. Not only was it powerful in the fact that it was a weapon, it was a medium that was very, very difficult to make. And therefore there was value in that piece. Bronze, iron, tin, steel, gold, silver, metals. Possession of these give you a modicum of power in they can be used as barter items to make something happen. Knives, swords, axes. Both a tool and a weapon. You can build something with it, or you can kill something with it. Guns. A gun gives a person a monicum of safety and security in the fact that they could dispatch a life at a modestly safe distance. If someone is moving to attack me, I can dispatch them before they get close enough to do me harm. If a wild animal is moving to attack me, I can dispatch that animal before it gets close enough to do me harm. As weapons and weapons of war and such advance in their technology, improvements are made. Safeties are improved. Accuracy is improved. Blah, blah, blah. Gun control is point blank about control, guys. In medieval times, even swords and knives were controlled. If a farmer was to have had a sword, generally they would hide it. And they would hide it in a place where it could be relatively easily available. If you watched Mel Gibson's Braveheart, you'll see that they hid their swords in the thatch of their roofs. Relatively easy to find if they needed them, but hard to find if you were at a distance. A gun and or possession of a gun would allows one man to control many. A bad guy walks into a bank with a gun, tells everybody to lay down on the ground. Nobody has a gun to respond to this person, the bad guy. Everybody gets on the ground and follows the orders. But if every red-blooded American exercised their right emblazoned into the Constitution, which is the footnote of the cornerstone of America, a bad guy walks into a bank with a gun and he is greeted with multiple weapons pointed right back at him. It was believed that when Texas implemented constitutional carry, I go constitutional carry because it's not really constitutional carry, but that it would be the wild, wild west all over again. It would be street shootings, duels, bad guys with guns running around, robbing trains, carjacking people, blah, blah, blah. But if you look at the statistics, although there is an increase, the increase is not related to the implementation of gun control or the lack of the constitutional carry. The increase is due to a judicial problem. Bad guys with guns are not being held accountable for their wrongdoings. So, how do we fix that? If we eliminate rule of law because bad guys are not being punished for going to jail, you treat it like it was the Wild Wild West. If I was going from civilization in the Old West times, and I was going to be traveling west to settle a new land, I was not to expect law enforcement or judicial systems to follow me into the great unknown. I simply would go armed to defend myself. If law enforcement is handicapped because the judicial system is not doing their jobs, the police force and law enforcement is demoralized, and therefore they do not do their job to the best of their ability. They do not get new bright, young, anxious recruits wanting to make the world a better place because they see that it's not making the world a better place. How do we fix that? Well, we make sure that bad guys know that the good guys all have guns. That is how we fix things. You want to knock down crime in New York? Arm them. Because the bad guys all have guns. They don't give a rat's ass about legals. Give the good guys guns. And train them. You want to stop gang violence? Give the good guys guns. Give the good guys guns. Dictators, monarchies, and all through history wanted control and power. How did they do that? By disarming the populace through a police force that was told was there to protect everybody. Nah. You know, got a lot of support for cops. But you know what? I'd still rather take care of myself. That's why I run around with a gun on my hip. And an extra magazine. Government says you don't need 30 rounds to go hunting. Deer ain't shooting back. No. But bad guys do. And more times than not, bad guys don't work alone. They'll have a getaway driver, or they'll have a wingman. Depending on what the ultimate objective to this bad guy's plan was. Gun ownership is not solely about hunting. But hunting is also in there. So, you don't take away a person's ability to defend themselves. In London and England right now, not only are guns illegal to own, knives are illegal to own. They've gone from mass shootings to mass stabbings, guys. You know, you have to register your antique silver service because it has a butter knife in it. That's control, guys. That's control. That's zero tolerance. Control. When I was in high school, it's the first time I ever heard of a rule that was backed up with the words zero tolerance. When I was a kid, my dad ran around with a freaking gun rack in the back of the truck with generally 2 or 3 guns in it. And now, a kid moves his grandma into, a new home or something like that, and her kitchen silverware spills out in the back of the boy's truck. He's now expelled from school because there's a butter knife in the back end of his truck. Zero tolerance, guys. Zero tolerance. If anywhere, people, we need zero tolerance in our judicial system. Keep bad guys off of our streets. Let's go, Brandon.